Hey everybody, welcome to Soup Sunday. Our soup today is a scallop and bacon chowder, or chowder as they say where I come from. I had some scallops in the freezer and I had some bacon in the refrigerator, and so I decided to make a chowder out of them, and that's what I did. And the recipe is on the website and the video is here, and watch it, drool, get the recipe, make it yourself, and happy Soup Sunday. Okay, so in goes the bacon. I've been preheating this pan, and we're going to stir that and cook it until it's crispy. All right, let's get this bacon all crisped up. Okay, our bacon is crispy. I don't know if you can see it in there. And I pushed it all to one side because I'm going to try to remove it and leave the fat in the pan. So by showing you, I just moved all the fat to the same side. But we can fix that. So we're gonna get a slotted spoon and scoop out this bacon onto some paper towels. Now, because this pan was a little too hot, all that stuff is stuck to the bottom. So what I'm going to do is, you can do this with wine or water or whatever you want to do, but I'm going to deglaze. They call it deglazing the pan. This is going to help loosen up the brown bits on the bottom. So here we go. Psst. Oh, a little bit more. And now we can, I don't know if you can see, but see how easy those are scraping right off? That helps a lot. So, we got our fat. I'm actually going to add a little bit more. A little tiny pat of butter. Throw that in there. Melt that in with that bacon fat. And there goes Kelly again. Woo! She's rambunctious today. My girl. Okay, now what we're going to do is take some aromatics. In this case, we don't use carrots, just celery and onions because it's chowder. And I have some pre-diced. We're going to pop those in. And stir them around. And we're going to sweat them out nicely. It's easier to see into a skillet than it is to see into a saucepan. I hope you can see it enough. We're going to add a little bit of salt. We don't need a whole lot of salt because we are using chicken broth, which is innately salty. So just a few turns there. And a couple of little turns of pepper. Stir those veggies around until they're softened. You're gonna think that I cook everything exactly the same way, and I kind of do. There was a chef when I was growing up. He was the owner of a restaurant called the Blue Strawberry in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and he was one of the very first celebrity chefs they had ever seen. I can't remember what his name was. I'll come up with it. But anyway, I got his cookbook, and he does everything this way. He uses, you know, a roux to make most of his sauces. Or he did. I don't know if he's still even alive or anything. It's that restaurant today is called the Black Trumpet, and it's still an awesome restaurant, but it's not the same chef. Portsmouth, New Hampshire has, and they told me this when I moved there when I was in college in 1978, or actually 77, that Portsmouth has more restaurants per capita than any other city in the United States, and they still sing that same tune today. The last time I visited, the hostess of the restaurant that I went to said, Portsmouth has more restaurants per capita, blah, blah, blah. I was like, wow, they're still saying this 45 years later. So anyway, we're going to keep browning these till they're nice and soft. Okay, so I'm still stirring, and when you're making traditional chowder, you can leave your celery and onions, you know, a little harder than, I'm going to cook these till they're very, very soft, because when you're making traditional chowder, you have to cook your potatoes. So during the celery and onion stage, you would add your cubed potatoes and cook those in, and then you would add your stock and boil the soup until the potatoes are cooked. But today, we're using cooked potatoes, so I gotta make sure our vegetables are real soft. Oh, and scallops, which cook in about 2 seconds. So we don't have to cook, you know, anything, clams or anything like that, because scallops cook in like 3 seconds. So that's the process here, and maybe we will call this shortcut scallop and bacon chowder. We're ready. Nice and soft. They're a little brown, but that's because of those brown bacon bits. Hopefully, I only have half and half, so I don't have any cream. Hopefully that half and half will be enough to turn it white. But as I push down these vegetables, they yield to my rubber spatula, so that means they're soft enough. So now, what we're going to do is add some flour. Like I say, here comes the part where you say, geez, that's just the same way she made the pork normand. So I'll sprinkle that on. We want kind of a thick roux with this one, because I personally like a thick chowder. I'm showing off my Bostonness. That's going to need a little bit more. And then we're going to cook it down to get out that starchiness. And there it's all floured together. And we're going to just let it cook for a couple of minutes here. I'm going to try and separate it a little bit so it cooks. And while we're doing this, I'm going to show you that, and you probably know this already, but scallops have something that's referred to as a tough muscle. And here's one of our scallops, and I started pulling this. All you do before you cook your scallops is pull them off, because they are tough, and I don't really know if they're muscle. And then you feed them to the dog, which I just did. Not too tough for her. Okay, we are now ready for some chicken stock. Now we're not going to add a whole lot because we're going to use cream as well, but we're not going to use the cream until the end. So, a little turn, we'll see how thick that gets. Shake it up first. I like to mix the chicken stock in a jar so I can shake it up instead of having to stir it. All right, so yeah. Now, in go our scallops. See, I just had a few, and these are cut in half. Oh wait, I forgot to cut the other one in half. The one with the muscle. do that. Done. Quicker like a bickle. And then we just go boom, right down in there. And that plate will be for the dog to lick. And here we have our leftover potatoes from the pork normand. And those will go in too. And the dog will want that as well. Now, this mixture is thick enough to cook the scallops and soften the potatoes. But right now we're just doing this one. And I don't know whether to put the bacon in it or to sprinkle it on top. I'll probably garnish with the bacon. So let's give this a few minutes to cook and we'll be right back. I had forgotten at this time I wanted to add in just a little pinch of fresh thyme. And there we go. All right, we have been stirring for a little bit. We look like this. And like I say, I started to say that I'm not sure the half and half is gonna whiten this up enough. The heavier the cream, the whiter your chowder. But there she goes. Oh. Anyway, for a lot of reasons, I don't keep heavy cream around the house. So these scallops are just about firm. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add in our half and half. And we're going to keep cooking this until the half and half is warmed through. And the scallops should be perfect by then. We're boiling a little bit. So I'm gonna start with that much. Stir it in, see what kind of, you wanna, put in enough to give you your desired texture for chowder. So yeah, we didn't whiten up much, as you can see, but it's still gonna be very delicious, and this is what I'll be having for dinner tonight. I'll save the pork normand for another day, but because I put the cream in this, I'm gonna have to eat this over the next few days because it's more perishable than the pork normand. Kelly, chill girl. All right, stirring, and let's see if we can scoop out a scallop and check on our firmness. That's a potato. Yep, we're good. And that was very tasty. So I'm gonna turn off the heat now. And like I say, those scallops will continue to cook until we serve it, which we're gonna do right now. I have a little bowl, not one of my prettier plates, but a soup bowl nonetheless. I have the only soup bowls I own are old-fashioned, the flat kind with the big rim. And I could put it in one of those, but I'm not gonna. So we're gonna ladle this in here. And I wish I had some oyster crackers, but I do not. And we're gonna take away that little drip so I can show it off to you. We're gonna garnish it with some of our crumbled cooked bacon. And there you have it. Emergency scallop and bacon chowder. And it's gonna be so tasty. In fact, I'm gonna taste it right now. Yep, that'll do. One more quick peek, and off we go.